Hi guys, welcome back to Random Lifestyle Vlog. How are you doing today? So it's Friday and we decided Fridays are going to be our fragrance days. So today and on any other Friday we're going to focus on fragrances only. Today's video is going to be all about Shay and Blue. I'd like to share my thoughts with you about this particular brand and the scents inside. There are like 5 scents inside and I have one extra. So if you'd like to find out what's inside this box and what my thoughts about this brand and the fragrances are, keep watching. So my review is going to be based on this fragrance that I bought from, I think, UVC, and one additional fragrance which is Lulas Camellia. It's their newish fragrance. I think it's the new one for 2021, but I'm not sure if they had anything more recent or if this one is the newest one. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the new one for 2021. And then we have 5 fragrances here, and these are Black Tulip, Framboise Noir, English Cherry Blossom, Blood Oranges, and Atropa Belladonna. So yeah, 6 fragrances. Have you tried any of these? If so, please let me know down in the comments below what you think about them, and we can compare our thoughts. Alright, so let's start. So I'm going to start with Black Tulip. I mean, they all look the same, so I don't really think there's a need for me to show them to you from up close, but yeah, this is Black Tulip. And this one, do you know what? It kind of reminds me of Tom Ford Noir. A little bit. It's not like the same fragrance, it's not a dupe, and nothing like that. It just has a similar vibe to me. It's a little bit less complex than Tom Ford, is a little bit less offensive. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do love Tom Ford, but this one is not as strong and not as complex. It has this very prominent plum note. It has some white chocolate, it has some spices. This is a perfect fragrance for autumn, for winter, for Christmas time. It's warm, it's sweet, it's aromatic, it's a little bit woody. I can't imagine myself wearing this around that time of the year. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to go back to this fragrance in autumn. It's really nice. Yeah, generally I think this fragrance is lovely. It's really well made, but there's nothing like extremely original about it to me, and that's probably the reason why I wouldn't purchase the full size of this scent. I like it. I'm going to use it. This sample, it's like 10 ml, so it will last me for a while. I have so many fragrances that will probably last me for like a couple of years, but never mind. I'm not going to purchase the full size because for me it doesn't really have anything like super original. From what I know, this fragrance is very popular. There are many people who love it, and I'm not surprised. Just as I said, for me there's something missing in it, and it doesn't mean that the fragrance is bad or anything like that. It's just something missing there for me to make it different from what I already own. I hope I make sense. So that was the only fragrance that has this like a very strong autumnal wintry vibe. We have it out of the way. We can focus on springy and summery fragrances now, and I'm going to start with Blood Oranges, and this one is actually, guys, this fragrance just does something to me. It just reminds me of like my childhood, like really warm summer in Poland. And I can't really put my finger on like exact thing that it reminds me of. I don't know what that is. It smells like freshly squeezed oranges and leather on a very hot summer day. It honestly brings me childhood memories. It just puts me in this happy place. I love this fragrance, honestly. It's not, I mean, it's not super volatile. It kind of, the orangey notes, they're actually, they disappear with time. Obviously, the citrusy notes are not super long lasting, but you get that woodiness and that leather note that stays on your skin. So I've heard many people actually complain about the lasting power. I don't really have problem with that. I think they last alright. Maybe that's a little bit less than what is expected from eau de parfum, but still not bad. I think I would get like 4 or 5 hours of that fragrance on my skin. So this fragrance that I'm holding here now is English Cherry Blossom, and this is, for me, this is perfect springtime fragrance, and this is coming from a person who doesn't really love florals, who doesn't really love very airy, lightweight fragrances, this one is just gorgeous. Again, I don't think I would purchase the whole bottle of that because just this fragrance is just not me, but it is gorgeous, guys. So this is a floral fragrance with a very prominent bergamot. I'm not a massive fan of bergamot too, but like, who knew? I mean, I literally love this fragrance. This is very far from anything that I will call my signature scent, but I just can't stop smelling it. It's so nicely made. It's very airy, it's very bright. It's like a perfect sunny spring day. It has this cleanliness in it, and it's a little bit powdery, but not like too much. I don't get much cherry from that. I don't really get any cherry, to be honest. It's just like some, maybe it's cherry flowers. That would make more sense because it's much more floral than fruity. I don't get any fruitiness out of that. But yeah, it's just gorgeous. It's just something that just gives me that happy feeling. I don't know why, but like these fragrances, they kind of create these emotions in me. So that's actually quite cool because I love when fragrances just are a little bit more than just a nice fragrance, you know? They just kind of like put you in a certain situation, in a certain feelings, and yeah, that's actually quite cool. So this one, lovely, very feminine fragrance. I don't think it's unisex. I don't think it's unisex, but I mean, obviously, if you are a man and if you love this fragrance, you can still wear it because why not? But it seems very feminine from my point of view. But yeah, it's gorgeous. So the next one is Framboise Noir, which means black raspberry in French. Obviously, I don't speak French. I just double checked that before that video, so that's why I know. This is another lovely fragrance, and it might seem like I'm a little bit biased because I love anything, but trust me, there is at least one fragrance I don't love. So yeah, this one, another woody fruity fragrance. So this fragrance gives me a little bit of similar vibe to blood oranges, but what I mean by that, they're both quite woody on the base and quite fruity on the top of the fragrance, so that makes them both perfectly unisex. And that one is very unisex too. It opens with berries, with very juicy berries, and then it's pretty much oud and some musk, and it's just gorgeous. Again, it's gorgeous. It's not so summery. I mean, it's more like late summer, early autumn. Lovely fragrance. Honestly, I love that composition. If I were to compare it to blood oranges, I mean, don't get me wrong, these fragrances are not similar. I mean, oranges and berries, not similar. But they have a similar composition in my head, like, you know, as I said, woody base and very fruity and sweet opening. This one, the Framboise Noir, doesn't really give me that much joy, but I find it more sexy and sensuous, maybe. Okay, so let's do the one that I didn't really like that much now, and this is the newest one of them all, and this is the Lulas Camellia. So this is the only fragrance I don't like. Why? Because the main notes are bluebells, white flowers, and there are some blonde woods, obviously, but the main problem are the florals, you know? I don't really like to fragrances that are focused too much on like white flowers. And there's nothing wrong with this, but what I get from that is mostly hairspray. Hairspray, yeah, for me it just smells like a hairspray. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Prada Femme. It's just very similar type of fragrance I don't like very feminine, very floral, very hairspray. I just don't like it, sorry guys. It's just not my type of fragrance. I know it doesn't really mean that this fragrance is bad or anything, this is just my personal preference, not my type of fragrance at all. What I do with Prada Femme, I actually layer it with like very sweet fragrances and it comes out really nicely. So I'll probably just try and layer this one with some maybe vanilla or chocolate, and we'll see. So that might actually save the day here, but definitely not going to purchase that one, no. No. And the last one, guys, is probably the best one of them all. I mean, it just blew my socks off, okay? It's Atropa Belladonna. I love it, okay? And this is probably the first one I'm going to buy as a full size because I just don't know. I just love it, you know? So this, guys, is my perfect fresh fragrance. I don't know if you would actually describe it as a fresh fragrance, but for me, this is the freshness I love. This is dry, crisp fragrance with some patchouli, with some blackcurrant, and the blackcurrant is not too overwhelming. It's just there. It doesn't make this fragrance sweet. It's not sweet. It's actually not sweet. It's very summery. It's just gorgeous. It has this clean vibe to it. It has a little bit of that hairspray note, I have to admit, but it's not too overpowering, and it's quickly gone, so I'm not really bothered by that. But this composition is just gorgeous. Again, something I can't stop sniffing, and this is probably the one that I'm actually going to buy in a full size as the first one, because honestly, I think this is the best one of them all. So there you go, these are the 6 Shay and Blue fragrances. Just to tell you, like, in general about the lasting power, I think I mentioned that before. It's not bad in my personal opinion, but it's not spectacular as well. So I usually get like 4 or 5 hours of this fragrance on my skin. It lasts a little bit longer on my clothes. There are some notes that disappear with time, mostly like citrusy notes. I think the fragrances like the English cherry blossom is actually more volatile than some of the fragrances with a stronger woody base, for example. So obviously it just depends on the notes, but I don't really think the lasting power is that bad, as some people say. I mean, obviously it also depends on your skin, because sometimes something lasts on your skin extra long and sometimes it just doesn't last at all. So on my skin, I'm actually quite happy with performance. I can't really complain. If there was like an extra hour or 2 of lasting power, that would probably be even better, but I'm quite happy with what I got. These are gorgeous, beautifully blended fragrances. I do love these compositions. I think, apart from the Lulas Camellia, which is completely not my thing, I think these fragrances are really interesting. They're not like a copy of something very well known. They just have their own spirit, and they bring these memories and evoke those feelings in me, which kind of makes them extra special. So I have to admit, I'm quite impressed with this brand, and the word of advice here, go and test it before you buy it, just to check if they actually last on your skin, because I heard many complaints of people who actually say that these fragrances, they don't last on them. So that's definitely something you should be aware of. Guys, this is everything that I have to say about Shay and Blue. If you are interested in more fragrance content, check these videos on my left side. Thank you very much for spending that time with me, and I'm going to see you very soon. And if you are interested in fragrance content, next Friday here I'm going to post something fragrance related. So yeah, that's everything for today. Bye!